Anyway, you know what? I guess I can talk about the procedure now that we're still waiting for a little bit for this. So, some people already figured it out. I went through a, how do you pronounce it? Colonoscopy? So, it's the procedure where, you know, they put a camera through your ass and basically all the way up to your stomach, lower stomach. So that's the thing I went through just earlier today. Like less than 2 hours ago, I was still on the table. Very unpleasant, I have to say. And not just the procedure itself, the preparation you have to go through. Like the day before, I could not eat anything after 12, you know, in the morning. So that was after that I couldn't eat anything. I was not allowed to eat anything, only liquids. And then around 5-6 p.m. that day, the day before, I had to take this freaking liquid that was absolutely disgusting.
You have a family with colon cancer.
Like I had to take this liquid, and so it's basically a really strong laxative, but it was disgusting. And it was a half a liter of that shit. I had to drink it in like 30 minutes. It was not. I almost threw up actually, but I didn't, luckily. And then after that, I had to take a bunch of water and other liquids to, you know, help the cleansing. And then for like 4 or 5 hours, I went back and forth between just chilling and to the toilet because of, you know, obvious reasons. So that was not very pleasant. Honestly, the emptying part wasn't the worst thing. Sitting on the toilet for long, you know, obviously sucks because, you know, it's hard and my legs got pretty numb. But the liquid was the worst that I had to take. That was disgusting. They even tried to put some flavor. It was like mango flavored. It wasn't good. It was really bad. So that was yesterday. And this morning, I had to wake up at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. because I had to take another one of those liquids. Like 4 hours before the procedure. Because the procedure was just before 10 a.m. today. So I had to do it again. This time I actually managed to drink it a little bit better. But it was still disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And then again, I spent like 2-3 hours in the toilet. And then I was basically fully cleansed. If my bowels were cleansed. And then I took a taxi to the hospital. They prepared me for the thing. And then we did it. Now the key part was, when the nurse was prepping me for it, she gave me like the pants and the socks and everything I had to wear. She asked me, do I wanna go through the process with anesthesia? I was given the option, because I'm not sure if a lot of people, maybe depends on the hospital where you're from, etc. I was given the option. She asked me, do I want to have anesthesia for it? Because it can be very unpleasant. But then we talked about it. First of all, I said, yeah, let's do it. Because that's going to suck, right? I had the thing where they put the camera down my throat into my stomach, and that was one of the worst experiences of my life. So I was like, you know what? This time, I would like to have something for it, right?
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
I know we are becoming old weeds when we start cheering our doctor.
True. Very
Can't
true.
believe it, lol.
So,
best wishes, Miss Scrub.
So I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's do anesthesia. But then the doctor was like, or the nurse was, is there someone that could pick you up after the procedure, though? I was like, oh, but can I just take a taxi home? That's fine. It's not like I'm driving myself. She's like, yeah, that's cool and all, but we need someone to be there at your home when you arrive back there in case, you know, something comes up, you know, because the anesthesia is strong, right? So I was like, shit, I don't think I can get anyone, really, at this short notice. So then I really started hedging my bets. And so I was like, shit, do I take it after all? And then also I was like, if I don't take it, maybe I have a better chance of covering content today as well. I'm just being honest here. So I said, frick it. Let's do it without it. I was hella nervous. In fact, for the whole procedure, I was like sweating and shaking and just, yeah, I was a nervous wreck. So I decided not to take anesthesia. So I managed to, after the procedure was done, we talked with the doctor, you know, yada yada, and I was immediately allowed to leave. So I took a taxi home. We're good. Now again, the results wise, luckily it doesn't seem to be anything really alarming, obviously. Because obviously, whenever you have issues like this, you start to get really scared that it could be something terrible. Because obviously, the reason I even went, or this was done, because for the past year or so, I have been dealing with issues regarding number 2. And number 2, most of the time, was red. So, you know what I mean, right? So, it wasn't a huge problem for me, because it was always painless, you know? And it wasn't causing any other issues. It was just red. It was always red when I had to do number 2. So I wasn't sure what it was. And then we started looking into it. The doctors thought it was maybe like, hemorrhoids, because that's the most common reason for stuff like that, Like a little bump in your area that's, need to be calmed down. So I took some stuff that's, used to treat hemorrhoids. And it seemed to work a little bit, but then right after it just came back. So, yeah. And then we tried some other products. Same thing. So that was number 2, like attempt number 2. And then finally, when I called them about it for the 3rd time, late last year, they said, you know what? Okay. We took some samples, fun for them, not so much for me. And they noticed there's some, infection levels in my sample. They were like, okay, these are pretty irregular. Maybe they might be related to the thing why it's red. And then they scheduled an appointment for today's colonoscopy. I already got this scheduled way before Christmas, by the way. Obviously, because this is public healthcare, it takes a while to get there. But today was the day they did the colonoscopy. So the doctor, after it told me, okay, so it looks like to be infection related, like infected wound type of thing that might just be either permanent or not. He didn't immediately want to say it could be something like Crohn's disease, which is a very similar thing. It's like an infection-based stomach-ish disease that, causes stuff like this. So it's I guess it could still be Crohn's disease, but for now we're assuming it's like just an infection. So I pick up these medicine that I'm supposed to every single evening before bed now. And those should hopefully alleviate the thing. They're like anti-infectant thing that's supposed to like digest in my, And I'm supposed to take that every single day before sleeping now. So hopefully that's going to work. So we're going to do that. Then after that, we're going to take some more samples after a while and see if the levels are still high or if they have calmed down. If they have calmed down, that should be it. I should be scot-free, right? Problem solved. Just an infection. But if it doesn't calm down with that, we need to talk more, I guess. So that's where we're at right now, okay? Basically. That's the whole thing. Seemingly nothing too serious, but you never know. That's why we're doing all these tests and whatnot, so. But the procedure itself, terrible. Terrible. If you're ever going to go through it, I highly recommend going through anesthesia, if you can. Highly recommended. Very, very unpleasant. Seriously. Like, most of it was kind of fine. I was, like, just shaking and sweating the whole thing. But at some points when, because they have to go all the way in from your... like, up until your lower stomach. So every time the thing went through, had to enter another, intestine part, that was the worst. That was the worst. That point where I always entered another area, holy fuck. Like, it was super unpleasant and at times even painful. Like, no. Not fun. Not fun. But once they make it to the stomach, you're good. Because after that, they slowly start taking samples and slowly coming out. At that point, you win. That point is not too bad anymore. But the way up there, not fun. Also, sorry, I'm trying not to be too graphic. Because I don't want, in case someone's like, eating something or whatever. But yeah, just so you know, very uncomfortable. That's all I'm going to say, okay? So if you ever have to go through a colonoscopy, I highly recommend taking the anesthesia if they offer it to you. It might leave you fucked up for the rest of the day, but at least you won't feel a thing. So I would recommend that. I didn't go through anesthesia, so yeah. But I survived. Yay. And the nurses and the doctor they were just very nice. They were just talking to me all the way through. We were having like casual. They even asked me what I do for a living. We talked about me streaming because, they were trying to be conversational, distract my mind. Obviously, they didn't even know what I'm talking about, like, because they're older people. They're like, I don't even know what live streaming is. But I'm like, yeah, it's like this thing. I stream like this Japanese mobile game to people. So there you go. I guess it worked to an extent at least because it at times just kept me more relaxed. Work as hospital nurses and normal day conversation. Yeah. They're obviously like, they're going to be like, yeah, sure. Yeah, you keep talking. Obviously, they don't even care or know what I'm talking about. But the point is to keep
Suited Myst when
the
you have
patient more calm, right? So, and it worked. Still a shitty experience though. Anyway, data downloaded. There you go. I managed to do the whole update while we were doing that. Great. Okay. Again, sorry for if that sounded graphic. Okay.